Welcome to Pittsford Community Church. We are so glad you're here. Please take a moment to check into service using the Church Center app. On the app, you can also submit a prayer request, join a group, give and register for upcoming events. It also features a calendar, church directory, and more. Stay connected to our church family using the Church Center app.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day, and welcome to our youth-led service this morning. I'm going to pray to get us started, and we'll start worshiping. Dear God, I thank you for this very sunny, amazing morning that you've given us on this really nice Mother's Day. I thank you for all the mothers that we have and all the expectant mothers that we have. I pray that you lay your hand on all of them. I thank you for this time that we have this morning to worship you and to give you all the glory. And I pray that you bless this time. In your name, amen.
There were walls between us. By the cross you came and broke them down. You broke them down. There were chains around us. By your grace we are no longer bound. No longer bound. You called me out of the grave. You called me into the light. You called my name and my heart came alive. Your love is greater. Your love is stronger. Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater. Your love is stronger. Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Feel the darkness shaking, all the dead are coming back to life. I'm back to life. Hear the song awaken, all creation singing, we're alive, 'cause you're alive. You called me out of the grave, you called me into the light, you called my name and my heart came alive. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. And what a love we found, death can't I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleasing, that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers, far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. 'Cause you are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Love so undeniable, I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable, I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love. Love, love, you're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Now we have a Mother's Day poem that we think is very special. Also, we had a Mother's Day video that was really cute that we're going to share, but it's not working. So maybe come back for second service and maybe it'll work by then. So now we have a poem.
To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experienced loss this year through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. To those who have had disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge your experience. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall tests of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who will have emptier nests in the upcoming years, we grieve and rejoice with you. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you.
Good morning, PCC. You may take a seat. We are very pleased to welcome you to our youth-led Mother's Day service. I know on behalf of all the students, they have been working so incredibly hard to get ready for this week, and they are just so excited to share this opportunity to say thank you to all of the mothers in our congregation. I have the opportunity to welcome our speaker for this year. I've been working with her for the last couple weeks, couple months, getting ready for this message. I know she has a true word of the Lord to bring to you this morning, and I am just pleased to welcome up Michaela Roberto.
Good morning, church. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for letting me come up here and speak to you this morning. It's an amazing opportunity, and I apologize in advance because it's one of my first times, but I know that you're supportive and you'll take it easy on me, right? First, I'd like to make a quick shout out to all the mothers who are out there this morning. From all of the youth who were on stage and all of us who are at youth group every Friday, we thank you for everything that you do for us, just giving yourselves for us and being there to support us in all of the small ways. But specifically this morning, thank you to my mom, because I wouldn't be able to use this time on the pulpit without calling you out specifically. Thank you for being there for me, because without you, I wouldn't be here. Literally, or figuratively. Now, with it being Mother's Day, it made me think about something. Let me walk you through my thought process a little bit. What's the one thing that all mothers have in common? No, I'm not talking about the age-old, I told you so, look, that's just a given. I'm talking about children, because it hit me while I was writing this that all mothers have children. That's what makes you a mother. What? Crazy. Anyway. Now, while I'm not a mother, I do know quite a bit about children, from growing up with them, around them, loving them. They're so cute. And if I've learned anything about them, I've learned that they repeat the randomest things that you say. And it's usually the stuff you don't want them to repeat that they do repeat, and they're fast to do it too. So I've got a good story about this one. I'm really excited to share. If you know me, you know that I've got all of these silly, quirky little sayings that I throw in to make life interesting, because why not? A staple in my vocabulary is the good old okie dokie. Half of you have probably received an email from me that ended with okie dokie. Sorry about that one. But I've got a bunch of other sayings as well. Well, a few years ago, my favorite thing to say was, "You nasty." I don't know why, and I wish I could tell you where it came from, but you nasty. It was my 13-year-old brain's favorite thing to say. And I'm sure you see where this story is going with my previous statements, but I would say you nasty as much as possible. I would stick it in instead of okay. I would stick it in instead of yes, yes, mom. No, you nasty. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And eventually, both of my younger brothers picked up on that and started doing it too. Now, at school, they're saying, "You nasty," and after dinner, they're saying, "Thank you, but you nasty." And it was really a fun situation for me. It drove my mom insane. She heard it all of the time, because not one of her kids was saying it, but now 3 of them were saying it. We just multiplied. And I, on the other hand, thought I was a superhero with the powers of mind control, because that's really cool. I can control my brothers? What? After a while, though, my mom said that the word was banned from the house, and I had to stop using it, which was the saddest day of my life. But I brought it back. And this story gave me an idea. In school, since it's my senior year, we've been doing a lot of big projects to kind of wrap things up and make sure that it's all like tight little bow before I go off to college. And one of my projects I'm doing on the evolution of friendship from childhood to young adulthood. So I've gotten to do a lot of research on the psychology of children. And one thing that I learned is that the majority, if not all of their learning as young children, comes from watching and copying those that they look up to. They observe whatever they do, take it in, goes through the tiny brain, and then it comes out in the form of repeating and mirroring that action. So I decided to try an experiment with my younger brothers. They have no idea this is happening, and they don't know that it did happen because that's how smooth that I am. I did have a video to reference this, but unfortunately it didn't work this morning. Like Dara said, please come back second service. I will explain to you what it was, though, and what it meant. So the purpose of the video was to make up this fake word that didn't have a meaning, to assign it any meaning and every meaning that I could, and then to use it as much as possible without actually saying why, to see if my younger brothers would pick it up. And I think it took me 2 times of using the word before one of my younger brothers picked it up. And the word that I used and chose was razzie, just because it's a fun word, and why not? So I did the same thing I did with Unasti years ago, but this time it was on purpose. Have a good day. Oh, keep it razzie. Oh, hey, how was your day, buddy? Oh, that's good. It was so razzie, huh? Just everywhere that I could put it. And in the video, you can see that, and it was great. It was really funny because I did learn that after 2 times they picked it up, once, they repeated me saying it, but after 6, 7, and 8 times, they just kept going. Like I came home the other day from school and I said, hey, how was your day? My little brother goes, it was just the razziest at school today. And I was so proud of myself. So if you hear someone walking around saying razzie, you're very welcome. Both of them picked up on it so quickly, and I really appreciate that. Thanks, Noah and Thomas, for your participation and proving my hypothesis perfectly. I read an article from Michigan State University, and the article said that toddlers can observe actions and repeat them after watching it for as little as 20 seconds on the TV. In the same way that children can observe and imitate those that they look up to, should we not also observe and imitate Christ in our lives? Would you turn with me to 1 Corinthians 13, 11 through 13 here? In this book, we read one of Paul's letters to the church of Corinth. In this letter, he's answering questions posed to him that have been posed by those who have converted to Christianity. So I'll read them to you. Again, that was 1 Corinthians 13, 11 through 13. It says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these 3, but the greatest of these is love. Now going back to that first verse 11 really quick, that says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. This description of a child growing up is something that's so tangible to each and every one of us. I'm sure you can either think back to or think of a time that you went from childhood to teenhood to young adulthood to adulthood, right? It's something that we all go through and we can think about and actually tangibly see. For some of us, that's a current reality. And it can be such a weird time that can be really difficult. And you can have growing pains. But it can also be a time of such amazing growth and learning. I mean, hey, I can sign my own waiver at the trampoline park now. I couldn't do that before. So growing up is really cool. But anyways, that's besides the point. On this topic of mothers and children, one of the major things that changes as we go from childhood to adulthood is our relationships, right? Our relationships with friends, they look different. Our relationships with family, it looks different. So in a similar way, our being humanity's relationship with Christ has changed. If you think back with me to Adam and Eve at the beginning, they could walk and talk with God. If I told you today that I was walking and talking with God, you'd either think I was insane or think that I was simply being metaphoric and referring to prayer, right? But they actually walked with God. That's still something I can't wrap my head around, but it's okay. I'll get there someday. For us, that seems unfathomable, right? Because our relationship with Christ is so different now. And in the same way, in the future, it's going to change again, right? When we go to heaven, I hope that my relationship with God is closer than it is right now. And you never know, it might even be different than it was back at the beginning, too. We might not be going back, we might be going better. So I think that is one of the most amazing things. Going to this second and third verse here, for now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love. I was thinking about this one for a long time because it took me a while to capture it and grasp the importance of it, just because I thought it was such a heavy thing, but also super light. I mean, faith, hope, and love. It tells you right there. So in talking with Preston and doing a lot of research and things like that, it kind of hit me. Why are these three things important? Well, because these are the three things that you can find in relationships, right? Faith, okay, hope, love. So when it pertains to God and our relationship with Christ, these three things are the basis of it, right? You know, before in Adam and Eve, they had faith in Christ, they had hope of things to come, and they loved him, and Christ loved us. And now we have faith and hope, and Christ loves us. And then Christ will love us. But I learned that the difference in these three things is that with faith, we need it, right? Because we can't see God right now. We can see the ways that he's moving in the world, but I can't look to my left and see the Lord. So I need faith that he's there, that he's walking with me. I have hope that in the future, he will still be with me, that he will use my life if I follow him. But the one thing that's different is love. Because that's not something that I start. That's something that he started, right? Because that didn't change. Our faith changed because they walked with him then. So they didn't need the kind of faith that we need now to walk with Christ. The hope that they had then changed now because it's a different time, it's a different place. But Christ's love didn't change. He loved us then, and he loves us now, and he will love us in the future. And I don't know about you, but I think that is the most amazing thing. When I was talking through this sermon that I was going to give with Preston, he said something that really resonated with me. He said, think about it like a mother and her child. Happy Mother's Day. He said that when a mother gives birth to her child, she sees this little baby, right? You have faith because you don't know anything about this child yet. You don't know their personality. You might not even know their hair color or how tall they're going to be or anything like that. But you have faith in who they are, that they're your child. You have hope for them for the future because you don't know who they're going to turn out to be. But you can hope that they can live their best life and be them best selves. You can hope that they can follow the Lord and take after you in that way. But still, even though we don't know who they are or who they'll become, you love them. I have never seen a little child that I wasn't ready to drop everything for. And I hope that stands true for the rest of my life. But if we love these little children so much, how much more do you think Christ loves us? Right? I love those verses in the Bible, if Christ does this, how much more? If Christ is this, how much more? How much more does he love us now? So, if we are to imitate as children imitate, and we are to love as Christ loves, what does that look like? Well, I took a look at Christ's vocabulary of love, and I came up with a few answers. The first is that Christ's love is unfailing. It's unfailing. The second is his love is steadfast. And the third is that his love is everlasting. He loved us, he loves us, he will still love us. His love is always there for us. In all the ups and the downs of life, going from childhood to young adulthood, this growth period, everything is a growth period, right? You're always going to something else and coming from something else. Life is a journey, you know how they say? You take different paths, it's not always perfect, but Christ loves us through all of it. He loves us in spite of the things that we've done, with parents and their children. Just because their child burned themselves on the stove doesn't mean that their mom loves them any less. They just think that they're silly. So I just want us to sit with that for a second. Because I think that we should think as a child thinks a little bit. Because if you ever ask a kid who's been learning about Jesus Christ, who Jesus Christ is, I don't know if you've ever done that, but I highly suggest it, is if I ask my younger brothers, well, can you tell me what you've learned about Jesus? They'll probably recite one of the verses that they've memorized. Then they get really excited and tell me how much he loves us, and they tell me that he died for us on the cross, and it's this super exciting thing. But I think sometimes we get, as adults and people who are older, we get a little too excited, and then we just dive really deep into it without thinking about what it actually means. I don't know about you, but sometimes I try to overanalyze, and then I just get stuck in this cycle of overanalyzation until I'm exhausted. But let's think like a child would think, right? Christ loves us. Period. End of story. That's the whole thing. Christ loves us. Like a mother loves their child, like a child loves their parent. We have someone to look up to. And that's not going to change. No matter what happens in this world, we have someone to look up to. Someone who we can guarantee with 100% certainty, 110% certainty, go crazy, that he loves us. So, as my brothers imitated me, and children imitate their parents, let us also imitate Christ, starting with his love. Thank you.
Forgiven and free, forever you'll be my God. And all that you've done is so overwhelming. I delight myself in you, in the glory of your presence. I'm overwhelmed by you. Unashamed You are beautiful, you are beautiful, oh God, there is no one more beautiful. You are beautiful, God, you are the most beautiful. Yes, and you are wonderful, you are wonderful, oh God, there is no one more wonderful. You are wonderful, God, you are the most wonderful. Yes, you are glorious, you are glorious, oh God, there is no one more glorious. You are glorious, God, you are the most glorious. I delight myself in you, in the glory of your presence. I'm overwhelmed by you. And God, I run into your arms, unashamed because of mercy. I'm overwhelmed
this last song, it has a very big emphasis on our identity in God and how we are children of God, and it kind of goes perfectly with Michaela's message. So I just hope that you kind of dwell in that kind of idea of this song.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Happy Mother's Day, PCC. I hope that you enjoyed our student-led service. Let's give a round of applause just to our students. They worked so hard getting ready for this week. As you get ready to be dismissed, as you exit the back doors, we have greeters that are going to be passing out flowers to each of the ladies in here with notes that are written by the students for the last Friday nights, just for you guys. We also, out in the lobby, have a photo booth set up for you to take pictures with your kids and your spouse, because as we all know, moms are always the one that take the pictures. So here, we're going to have people out there to take your pictures for you guys so you can actually be in there. Also, as a reminder, this coming Saturday, we do have PCC Work Day right here at the church from 8 to 4 if you're available. Yes, we would love to have your hand getting everything together for the church. As you leave, take this blessing with you from the book of Numbers. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face to you and give you peace. Happy Mother's Day, PCC.